Hello, how are you doing today? Doing all right? That's good. That's what I like to hear. I want to ask you a question. Do you enjoy music? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Oh, you said you do enjoy music. Now we are on the same page. Very nice to meet you. Today, we're going to talk about music. And we are going to take the example of two giants in the field of music, contemporary music. As soon as I mention the names, you will agree they are giants. One is Eric Clapton, and the other is David Gilmour. Yes, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. Why not take a few moments to enjoy an example each? First, from Eric Clapton, and the other one by David Gilmour. So, did you enjoy those two music clips? Did you realize where those clips are taken from? Which are the songs? I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know, then you really haven't listened to these two artists. But the first one is by Eric Clapton and the second one is by David Gilmour. I might, in another video, tell you where the clips are from, but for those who have been listeners for a long time and who know about Eric Clapton and David Gilmour, they would immediately recognize those two music clips. The important thing is not whether you know the songs. If you do, very good. The important thing is how much power music has to transport you into another realm. It doesn't matter what you're going through in life. If you can lose yourself in music, music has the ability, especially if it comes from those musicians who get completely involved in their expression. I wouldn't even use the word performance. Yes, there are artists who get involved in the expression as well as in the performance. But personally, I enjoy music when it is a personal experience for the musician and he becomes oblivious to his surroundings or the crowd, especially if he is playing in the studio. He is playing with other musicians, but especially the part where there is a guitar solo, and musicians like Eric Clapton or David Gilmour, you'll notice many times they close their eyes and they're completely focused in the moment. And that is the magical secret that expresses that power that captivates the listener and is able to transport us mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually into that experience that the musician is trying to convey at that moment. Now, when I listen to Eric Clapton and David Gilmour, I'm listening to two amazing guitarists. I don't have to say that they are amazing. It is self-evident. But what I would like to observe is that they are very different as musicians. The kinds of subjects that either musician takes is one reason for the difference. Eric takes experiences from life and about relationships and things of that nature, but they are more close to some material experience. David Gilmour, on the other hand, takes experiences which are transcendent. And both guitarists are at a level where they are expressing spontaneously something that is centered on the idea behind the song. And yet, just listening to the solo, not only the two examples here, but generally, you feel, or at least I feel, that the music is coming from two very different places. And as a listener, I can take the music to a place where I want it to go. So I'm not completely hypnotized by the music. I'm using it as a medium to go to a place, go to an experience. Sometimes I may share the experience with the musician, whether it's Eric Clapton or whether it's David Gilmour. Of course, when there are lyrics in the song, you, as much as you understand the lyrics, I'm one of those people who can even put aside the lyrics and just enjoy the music. But others pay very close attention to the lyrics and they identify with the lyrics. I, on the other hand, am someone who enjoys the music, and I don't feel it necessary to identify with the lyrics at any time, and no matter who I'm listening to. And I identify more with the feel of the music. So Eric is able to give a feel. There's a depth in his playing. But personally, I enjoy listening to David Gilmour from Pink Floyd a lot more. Does that take away from Eric's performance, expression, or ability? Not at all. But personally, I've always enjoyed listening to Pink Floyd, David Gilmour, more than I've enjoyed listening to Eric Clapton. And everyone has the freedom to choose to have a preference of one artist over the other. And yet, as I mentioned, I consider both of them as giants, and I enjoy the music that both musicians have produced. The technical aspect of the music has never been important to me because I'm not someone who produces music. I'm not someone who plays music. If I was, then I would pay attention to the kind of guitar, the amplifier, the studio setup, and all those other things. And maybe the way I listen to music, not maybe, definitely the way I listen to music would change because it would be influenced by that background understanding. But as someone who has been listening to music of many different genres over decades, from the earliest time, I have identified with the feel and the spirit of the music. Now, though this video is about Eric Clapton and David Gilmour, I'd like to make a mention of two artists whose lyrics, whether they wrote the songs themselves or were written by someone else. One is Don Williams, and the other is John Denver. Now, John Denver wrote his own songs. Don Williams, not so much. But in that case, lyrics are very important. Both men were very able to sing beautifully and express beautifully, but their music was centered on the message and the lyrics. In the case of Eric Clapton and David Gilmour, the lyrics play a secondary part. That is my impression, has always been. So, listening to different kinds of music has different kinds of benefits and different kinds of effect. I just wanted to take a few minutes to express how I listen to music, especially when it's from these two men. And by now, I think you would want to listen to some music yourself. And if this video was just the encouragement you needed, then I feel very happy to have given you that encouragement. I do hope you take the time every day, at any time, to take the opportunity and listen to music. My recommendation from this video is Eric Clapton and David Gilmour. But take the time out to listen to music, to rejuvenate, to refresh, and to transport yourself to that other place where the mundane, monotonous life keeps us away from. And music takes you out from the monotony and takes you to that place, to that experience where you can lose yourself and then come back renewed. Thank you very much for your company, for your time. I'll see you at another time. Goodbye and take care.